Let's delve directly into the heart of your deepest anxieties. You are not genuinely cherished, merely endured. Does it sting to hear? It should, for society has conditioned you to crave others' approval without warning you that this very approval is the harshest snare. Throughout your life, you've been urged to be kind and pleasant to earn others' affection, but no one revealed the darkest truth. Kindness is an open invitation to betrayal. When you strive to please, you become exposed. Every smile and every excessively kind act makes you vulnerable. Silently, everyone around you gauges your weakness, calculating how far they can push before you break. Deep down, even if you deny it, you know that love is fragile, subject to whims and fleeting emotions. The affection you build over years can crumble in an instant with a single wrong word or an unforeseen mistake. But fear is different. It is not fleeting. It does not depend on moods or momentary sympathies. Fear is etched in memory like a scar that never fades. I'm not talking about the fear that humiliates or breeds hate. Know that such fear is useless and self-destructive. I'm talking about respectful fear, the kind that prevents others from challenging you because they know crossing that line will cost them dearly. Here is the uncomfortable truth no one wants to admit. In the exercise of power, it is safer to be feared than loved. History is full of leaders who wanted to be loved by everyone and ended up destroyed by those who swore eternal loyalty. Excessive kindness is seen by many as weakness, and in this world, weakness will always be exploited. Machiavelli understood this perfectly, and although modern society pretends to reject his ideas, it secretly practices them more than ever. You've been conned into believing that firmness is cruelty, that imposing clear boundaries is tyranny. But who really benefits from that lie? Those who await your downfall, those who patiently wait for the moment when you drop your guard to attack you where it hurts the most. Because although they pretend otherwise, people always act according to their own interests. Loyalty lasts as long as it suits them. Respect is maintained as long as they fear the consequences. The cunning lies in knowing when to apply force and when to resort to laws, for power has two fundamental pillars: laws, which set limits, and force, which ensures those limits are respected. Laws without force are illusions that no one takes seriously. Force without laws is barbarism that awakens hatred. The intelligent leader understands how to balance both, maintaining order with authority, but knowing how to avoid falling into unnecessary brutality. You may think this perspective is cynical, even cruel, but look around you. How many times have you seen someone too good get trampled by those they helped? How many times have you seen indulgence turned into permission for betrayal? And yet you still naively believe that being loved is enough, that kindness will protect you from betrayal. It won't. The only real defense is respected authority, a measured fear that does not cross into hatred but keeps others' destructive ambitions at bay. True power is not popularity. It is not being loved by everyone or doing what they expect from you. True power lies in being respected and, yes, at times feared, because the respect born from fear lasts longer than the fragile, fleeting admiration that love offers. It's not about becoming a tyrant. It's about deeply understanding human nature. People respect what they fear losing and despise what they consider safe. Human psychology is predictable, and here's the uncomfortable secret. If you want to lead successfully, you need to play with the balance of respect and fear without ever allowing that fear to turn into irrational hatred. Because hatred creates irreconcilable enemies, but fearful respect creates loyal followers. Do you really want to be strong? then accept reality. Stop desperately seeking love and learn to wisely manage fear. Be fair but firm. Be kind but never indulgent. Always act with cunning, anticipating betrayals and preparing firm, calculated responses. Because when the decisive moment comes, when you are facing those who wish to see you fall, only your real authority, the one built with balance and dignity, will keep you standing. And always remember this: people quickly forget the favors you do for them, but they never forget the respect you impose on them. Machiavelli was right. Effective power will always be safer from respectful fear than from the volatile sympathy of love. Learn to master that subtle difference, and you will have conquered the essence of true leadership. True wisdom lies in understanding that authority should never be absolute but strategic. If you always show strength, people get used to it and stop respecting you. But if you are firm only at the right moments, your firmness becomes legendary. Unpredictability is your most faithful ally because no one respects a predictable leader. Power is not about consistency, but about surprise. Think about it for a second. Who commands more respect? The one who always punishes, or the one who surprises with an unexpected reaction right when everyone thinks they will tolerate a mistake? That's where the real art of Machiavellian leadership lies. It's not about shouting all the time to be heard. It's about speaking little and clearly so your words are never ignored. And the biggest mistake a leader can make is trying to please everyone. Whoever becomes obsessed with others' approval inevitably loses control over themselves. When you try to please everyone, in the end you please no one and you end up betraying your own essence. The authentic leader understands that governing means making uncomfortable decisions that not everyone will applaud, but that, in silence, they will recognize as necessary. Think of those who made history. What made them memorable was not their ability to please, but their ability to decide coldly when everyone else trembled. Firmness, accompanied by a fair measure of respect, does not leave anyone indifferent. The leader who hesitates loses all respect. The one who acts with decision is followed even by those who publicly question them. Now I'm going to touch on a sensitive point you probably don't want to face: the loneliness of power. Do you know why great leaders are often alone? Because real power always implies loneliness. The higher you rise, the fewer people can understand your decisions, the fewer people can accompany you without resentment. That is the cruel paradox of power. The stronger you become, the fewer people you will have sincerely by your side. But accepting this loneliness frees you from emotional dependence, and only then can you make objective decisions free from the weight of others' emotions. Observe your surroundings. How many times have you seen someone fall because they didn't understand this simple reality? Power should never be shared with those who do not understand it, because envy inevitably arises, and envy not only robs you of energy, but also sows betrayal. The intelligent leader knows how to anticipate this reality, keeping close only those who show loyalty in difficult times, and strategically distancing those who are only there for convenience. A clever leader does not allow others to fully know their intentions, keeps a certain distance, creates calculated uncertainty. Mystery is a powerful shield. If you reveal too much of yourself, you become vulnerable. People cannot harm what they don't fully know. Always keep something of yourself a secret. Make it so no one can fully anticipate your next move. That uncertainty will keep everyone alert and you protected. However, here's what few understand about real power. It's not about accumulating force, but about intelligently managing others' weaknesses. Identify what truly moves those around you, and you will have an unrelenting tool to guide their decisions. Do you know the secret behind those who always seem to get what they want? They understand perfectly what each person fears what each individual desires, and how to use those emotions to guide their behavior. While others struggle vainly to gain approval, the clever leader focuses on understanding deeply what drives others. Machiavelli did not write his ideas to create tyrants, but to reveal a reality that few dare to face. Human beings rarely act from pure goodness. Most of the time, they act from self-interest. Whoever understands this stops living in illusions and begins to govern from a position of advantage. The deep psychology of Machiavellian leadership is the understanding of human fragility. It's not cynicism, it's pure pragmatism. It's observing human nature without filters, accepting it, and adapting strategically. Think for a second, would you rather people see you as good or as strong? The automatic answer society gives is good, but what really happens when someone perceives weakness in you, they take advantage of it without exception? True strength lies in showing controlled kindness, carefully managed and delivered only when it is useful. Because if you give generosity without measure, you will soon find that people start demanding instead of being grateful. The true danger is not being firm, but constantly doubting when to be firm. Respect is lost in doubt, never in clear action. Here's the last truth, the deepest and yet most disturbing. Although power is enjoyed, it is never truly possessed completely. It's an endless game where, if you let your guard down even for a moment, someone else will take your place. You know it well. You feel it, even if you've never openly acknowledged it. That feeling of always being alert, that constant vigilance, never disappears completely. And this, far from being a disadvantage, is exactly what keeps you alive, what makes you never drop your guard. It's the price of power, eternal vigilance, the eternal uncertainty that reminds you that to maintain balance, you must be willing to live on the edge of the abyss. But let's go even deeper and listen carefully to what I'm about to tell you, because it's something few admit. Power, at its core, is nothing more than a shared illusion. It's an implicit agreement between you and others. You have authority because others believe you do, because they have mutually convinced themselves it should be so. Force and laws, although necessary, are only tools to reinforce that collective belief. What happens when someone stops believing in your authority? What happens when the tacit agreement about who truly commands disappears? Exactly, your power evaporates. That's why the greatest skill of a leader is to keep that agreement alive, that invisible contract. Manage it, renew it, and even challenge it every now and then, just to remind everyone who's steering the ship. This is precisely what differentiates a real leader from a mere tyrant. The tyrant believes they have absolute power, but by believing it, they lose all touch with reality and ultimately self-destruct. The leader, on the other hand, fully understands the fragility of power, knows it is always on the verge of breaking, always about to evaporate. That balance, a constant tension, is precisely their greatest strength. So let me ask you the last question. The most uncomfortable, but perhaps the most important. Do you really want power? Or is what you really seek the illusory security it promises? Because if you're looking for absolute peace, you've entered the wrong game. Authentic leadership is dangerous, unsettling, never completely safe, but there lies its beauty, there lies the essence that makes it irresistible. In that abyss, in that controlled uncertainty, is where the great figures who change history emerge. Those who live in constant tension, who do not flee from risk, are the ones who endure. Always remember this. While you have power, you will be walking on the edge, and precisely because of that, you will feel that every step matters, that every decision has real consequences. If you seek comfort, this is not your path. But if what you want is to truly influence, to leave an indelible mark on the world around you, then embrace that discomfort, master it, and enjoy it, because only in that constant tension does true greatness lie. If you've come this far, it's because within you burns the flame of leadership, a flame that never goes out completely. Now listen carefully, because this is key. Greatness does not lie in always being right, but in knowing how to move strategically even when you lose. Victory is not about winning always, but about never giving up in the face of momentary defeat. Deep down, leading is simply the ability to get up time and again, because those who master the art of resurrection become indestructible. Thank you for joining me on this intense journey through the hidden psychology of leadership, emotions, and the games of power. If you've made it here, it's because you understand that life doesn't reward the one who strikes hardest, but the one who knows best when to strike and when to retreat. Now it's up to you to choose your role: leader or follower, strategist or victim, architect of your destiny, or slave to others' judgment. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to the channel right now, because knowledge is power, and there is so much more to discover here. Activate the bell so you don't miss anything that's coming, and if you understood the true meaning behind each word, I want you to write this exact phrase in the comments. True strength is invisible. See you in the next video. Effective authority doesn't give unnecessary explanations, because the need to justify your actions reveals insecurity. A leader who explains their reasons too much is begging for acceptance. Never do that. Let your decisions speak for themselves. That's how you become indisputable. The psychological key to mastering this dynamic is clear. Your power should be visible but never transparent. Always leave a little space for the imagination, for mystery, because the human mind fills those empty spaces with respect and even admiration. People respect what they don't fully understand and fear what they cannot control. Finally, if you want to truly master the art of leadership according to Machiavelli, you must understand something crucial. Power is not granted, it is taken. But once taken, it requires constant wisdom to maintain it. Always act with intelligence and foresight. Avoid abusing your force, but never allow anyone to doubt that you are capable of using it. Manage respect wisely. Manage fear, avoid hatred, and you will master any environment. In conclusion, always remember this: whoever controls the human mind controls reality, and those who deeply understand the psychology behind respect and fear will never be forgotten. Never. Now decide for yourself what kind of leader you want to be: loved but vulnerable, or feared but secure, or if you have enough skill, both at once. But never forget that the line between respect and hatred is thin, fragile, and dangerous. Tread carefully, and you will be invincible. The question that really matters now is, can you detect when someone fears you and when they truly respect you? Because many leaders have fallen by confusing these two concepts. Pure and hard fear generates momentary obedience, but respect endures beyond your physical presence. If someone fears you, they will do what you say out of survival instinct, but if someone respects you, they will act in your name even when you're not present. Do you perceive the difference? One thing is to get quick results by fear. Another very different thing is to inspire constant actions through sincere respect. Now go even deeper. The true strength of a leader lies in recognizing when to exert pressure and when to slightly loosen the reins. Yes, loosen it. It seems contradictory, but absolute leadership doesn't exist. Constant pressure exhausts and, over time, stops working. Effective authority is capable of stepping back from time to time to allow others to make mistakes, to make their own decisions. That way, they can realize firsthand how valuable your vision is and how important your leadership is. If you never let others experience their mistakes, they will never truly appreciate your successes.